Okay. Hello, Amazonians. Welcome to the show. We welcome Ambazonians as we continue all the time for you know uh keeping us updated and to give a right perspective as to how the revolution in the worker. Now we place now responsibility for ensure Simu put their mind them. May it a straight line. You will not allow any space for confusion so that people then fit get a healthy mind as we fight this total liberation revolution. So the topic for today, where I want for talk on, I mean the topic today, I'll really be privileged and honored for day for this particular show. One of the most respectable and honored person where you don't get a track record for proof for Amazonians them, or put minds them in the right direction. I've been really honored for day for life today with our senior analyst, our person where they give you that boost, that moral standing, they give you that that hope. So we move towards the right direction. I need to do I need to do live with the press secretary, the senior analyst, comrade Lucas Asu. I thank you so much, brother. I be really honored for saying I share a platform with you today, and we don't do a very tremendous job because at times I get that relief in my mind. Say at least we all will converge towards one direction, and people anyway get stronger mindset, very intelligent Amazonians. But if we keep them comfortable, if we make people understand why we first fight, the state for the revolution, whose side we stand, the drawback, the setbacks, and how we overcome the setbacks, and how we move forward. At times, I sit back and get a lot of lectures, a lot of intelligent talk will come from your show and from your participation for this revolution. I really be so happy for sharing this platform me and you today, my brother, my friend, my comrade. So,
Comrade PK, the appreciation be mutual. You be person who I get great respect for, as well when we be start this thing, be the look up to now in terms of the work we wanna be doing with the Ambazonia Defense Forces for those early days. Now we be the look up to, we the come for now for get the information for which it happen and for find out how I don't build all this structure them, So a lot of the work that when I don't do, they be very admirable for the Ambazonian people then. So, you be a great guy and you be a person where you don't do great work in terms of building the forces, leading the forces, and put up the kind of structure them for defend the Ambazonian people their rights and for give the people them hope. So, when you talk about say, no. Instead now when be the founding fathers and the people they don't give you this hope. So now when I was supposed to thank them, who come after for build, would stand on top when I shoulders as giants. So,
brother, you don't flatter me. I be flattered anyway. You bring the blush here, do black skin and the blush. Thank you very much, comrade. So, fellow Amazonians, today we get three key subjects and we'll touch on. The first thing we want to touch on, me and my able comrade want to touch on actually that whole Cameroon, the aggressor, the oppressor, the oppressive force we don't colonize we for all these years, which actually happened today. That the first case that we get them, we want to talk about them for bring that news for people them. And secondly, I would like to really bring up this key question to discuss with I call him a senior analyst. They ask the idea for how the strategy for the stabilization forces, how the strategy implemented for ground. The second phase that we will talk about and for this outing, and the third phase will be how the revolution they play out for ground zero, and how other aspects they will bring them in for really ask them for. I call it senior analyst, make it expand for make me ambassadors and make we be aware and move put mind straight. I always call you saying that the Panabita will mind for the revolution and it make we feel think straight and be, at every point you don't lose focus. If you always need to wear the cap, don't blink. So that I mean it live on that word. So the three able areas in that way I would like me to touch on today. Today, fellow Amazonians, them, like when I see them for this run down for board, the discussion I say with you, what really happened for Cameroon?
I want also just let you know, say this, we did live now on ACN, so just may know so we don't already start the conversation because ground zero the watch.
Okay, thank you, comrade, thank you. So like when I was see for the screen where you run for down, the discussion I say, what you cook for what you like really cook and for we. After they don't get this failed dialogue, the Republic of Cameroun, it cook up another, dialogue is a sham program, or they cook up another failure Grand National Dialogue. Actually, I thought that we would want to hammer on because we don't know the other. If they did something of that sort, they go on, we just one conclusion. I will not say be dead on arrival, but one for really throw out there for. Ask whether the Republic of Cameroun is plan to prepare another failed national dialogue.
So, what be a question? What be a question? What you want me to know? You want me to find out what did really happen in La Republic of Cameroon? All right. So, I give an overall assessment of what did happen for La Republic of Cameroon before I answer that question.
Okay.
The Biya regime need to exist again in terms of Biya as the president of La Republic of Cameroon. Okay. The overall assessment currently, the Biya regime, a period don't come to an end. Biya as the president of La Republique, that one no day again. They move now towards, because of Biya a failure for accept the international recommendation for enter into a genuine mediation process, for enter into a genuine dialogue, for enter into a transparent negotiation will be led by the international system. Because of Biya's stubbornness for accept the position of the international system, and even the position of France for tell Biya making enter for a genuine dialogue, Biya don't deny. Number two, the war where Biya declare, if he thinks he go win that war very fast.
Yeah.
And so if one use that prestige, say don't defeat, as in the column for La Republique, say secession. They don't defeat the secessionists. And so if one use them like a last hope, like the last thing we get them for proven for La Republique of Cameroun, say, after 40 years in power, it finally succeed for do something, and that thing na for say, now for keep Cameroon as united. Now the thing that we have one user like a legacy, because after 40 years, you don't get anything for sure. The CPDM government, you don't get anything for sure for the Cameroonian people after 40 years, which they don't do with the power with the people that they trust them with them. It not be fit for doing. Then, what you can't spoil them, now this is massacre them, where the army that they commit them for Amazonia. So every time they commit those massacre, the international community no one talk about Biya, they don't want to hear about Biya anymore. Their plan is say Biya get for go. Even France don't tire for poor Biya. So the more of this massacre than where they commit them, the more Biya itself it lost all the hope way the international system be get and say it be actually mean for get into some discussion. Because of these failures, now Biya they don't want hear about Biya, they don't want talk about Biya, and they not trust Biya get the intention, it get the political will, and it get the honesty for one provide a solution which will be acceptable by the Amazonian people then. All right. because of all this, they don't want to make this thing go on anymore. So now Biya get for go. He don't fall out with all the international partners then. He get for go. Now Biya no want go because if Biya go, the entire system go implode. Waiting that he try for do am now. Now for make sure say they continue with Biya a policy then. So now for secure Cameroon as one, they don't introduce a new factor. That factor now the factor of Frank Biya. Now the game now for La République du Cameroun. Now how they fit transition Paul Biya, they transfer power to Frank Biya. Now the overall assessment is now the current political games and this way that they go on for La République du Cameroun right now as we talk. So that they put in place all the things and way we go make can be possible for transfer power to Frank Biya, and then the Nordists they no go start protest, the Bamilikes they no go start for protest, so that protest no go blow out all over La République du Cameroun. Now they work out on this mechanism. So in conclusion, the overall assessment for Cameroon, the state of Cameroon, the political system for Cameroon don't totally collapse. The social system don't totally collapse. Cameroon therefore high level of debt where they not fit pay them. They not fit borrow money anymore for the international system from the Canadian resolution, Canadian House of Common Resolution. They don't rally all their allies them. Make sure say the international system it not continue for give money for poor Biya anymore for run the war. So now Biya they go now for this small bank them, African Development Bank, all that kind of small bank them, for go borrow money for project, and then they go divert those money then now into the war. So for them, they not fit prosecute this war for a prolonged period of time for the next two or 3 years. They not fit do one. They not get the money, they not get the capacity, their forces they not fit fight this war. So now the overall assessment that way what people they need to understand, say Cameroon as a state, it don't collapse. Frank Biya, it going to be that there's new strategy for save Frank Biya. I will go more into details about what they try to use Frank Biya for.
Okay, what you talk, it be spot on because not be now don't see this whole thing play out inside these francophone countries. We see the same issue happen for Togo. We see the same issue happen for Chad. We see the same issue happen for Gabon, where party die. They force the French, they leech France in the force speaking for power for come inside it. Recently we see what happen for Chad. So when we talk, these are procrastination analysis. It is spot on because according to what you don't see the play and they manipulate we as a people for Africa. I mean, you really see through the mindset for like Republic of Cameroon and see through the mindset for their master fans. Thank you very much, Comrade. Okay, I want to ask one question for you. What do you really think? What will really be the intention for Cameroon as far as ambassador is concerned? What is their plan? What is their intention? As things the work and how go. What do you talk about that?
Before we want go there, make we watch this video. Before we answer the question of what will be Cameroon intention as far as ambassador be concerned, make we watch this video. Go give we a lot of revelation. Make we watch this video.
Okay. The major national dialogue. Of course, that's why I'm able to tell you that it failed, and I was able to see that it was failing because while it was taking place, people were running away from reality and playing up to the gallery. So the damn thing failed. Of course, when I came out from there and I was saying that the thing had failed, they almost killed me. But today we are all agreed that the thing has failed. And if the president himself is saying that there's going to be a dialogue, it's a recognition of the fact that that major national dialogue failed. And you see, once we say that the major national dialogue has failed, and you know that one of the elements that contributed to that major national dialogue was also another failed organ called it's called what again? The
Bangladesh culturalism.
Voila. It's one big white empty hopeless elephant that went into the bedroom and crafted that thing, and with some other people who do not want to liberate Cameroon as such, they came up with the major national dialogue, and then I guess the president thought that these were genuine people and they were ready to solve the problem, but they were doing their thing as usual. Now, so the Bilingualism Commission is a failed thing. The major national dialogue is a failed thing.
Disarmament?
Well, no, don't mention disarmament. Let's mention the two. Those are the major structures. And you have disarmament, reconstruction, special status, decentralization.
Now it's accelerated.
Whatever, call it whatever, it's just politics and names. So you see, this crowd of things that were born out of the major national dialogue, watch my lips, have failed. Failed in the sense that they might have a 10% success, but when you're talking about success, you talk of 80% success, not 10% success, not 20% success. So that is why we are having the problem that we are having. And therefore, if I said the major national dialogue has failed, I'm as well saying that decentralization is not working.
Okay.
To respect the principles of
But you attended the major national dialogue.
Of course, that's why I'm able to tell you that it failed, and I was able to see that it was failing because while it was taking place, people were running away from reality and playing up to the gallery. So the damn thing failed. Of course, when I came out from there and I was saying that the thing had failed, they almost killed me. But today we are all agreed that the thing has failed. And if the president himself is saying that there's going to be a dialogue, it's a recognition of the fact that that major national dialogue failed. And you see, once we say that the major national dialogue has failed, and you know that one of the elements that contributed to that major national dialogue was also another failed organ called it's called what again? The
bilingualism and culturalism.
Voila. It's one big white empty hopeless elephant that went into the bedroom and crafted that thing, and with some other people who do not want to liberate Cameroon as such, they came up with the major national dialogue, and then I guess the president thought that these were genuine people and they were ready to solve the problem, but they were doing their thing as usual. Now, so the Bilingualism Commission is a failed thing. The major national dialogue is a failed thing.
Disarmament?
Well, no, don't mention disarmament. Let's mention the two. Those are the major structures. And you have disarmament, reconstruction, special status, decentralization.
Now it's accelerated.
Whatever, call it whatever, it's just politics and names. So you see, this crowd of things that were born out of the major national dialogue, watch my lips, have failed. Failed in the sense that they might have a 10% success, but when you're talking about success, you talk of 80% success, not 10% success, not 20% success. So that is why we are having the problem that we are having. And therefore, if I said the major national dialogue has failed, I'm as well saying that decentralization is not working.
Okay, all those of you watching us,
that should give everybody a greater perspective of what Cameroon is about. And so what their intentions were for Ambazonia, all right? All these things were manipulative strategies to avoid international mediation, to avoid international intervention. They were just manipulative strategies. There were no intentions for them. It was a delayed tactic to say that we are doing something, but they were not doing anything, all right? The doctor, I think the doctor who just spoke, he participated in the Grand National Dialogue. He was there. He was there. He's championing a confederation with Cameroon as a new form of what will bring stability. He was there. He participated. Now they are confessing. The whole thing was a sham. It was nonsense. Then Biya knows this. So, what is the intention? The intention is the same. Cameroon is one of those countries where they want to do what they call, if we do the same thing over and over and over, then we'll go get a different result. That's what they're talking, right? It's like Chris Man. Chris Man go waka from here to the other point, and then he will come back, waka, come back, and then he waka again, and then he waka, come back for that same place. But for that Chris Man he had, he thinks he make progress. But he don't say the only work and for the same, he go work a 10 step forward, 10 step backward, 10 step forward, 10 step backward. Now only so. So Biya what Biya they do and what La Republique they do. Now, because since 1961, they don't take the Ambazonian people them like fools.
Right. Yeah.
All right? They don't take the Ambazonian people them like they are slaves. Because nobody will be able to respond to them. Ambazonians they never ever get a leadership. All right? They never ever get a leadership will be courageous enough for respond to Cameroon. For respond to Cameroon, their political games and their gimmicks. So they don't take the Ambazonian people them for a ride. So when this kind of thing always happened in the past, now political agitation, they know how the people then they behave. They bribe, they bribe the leaders them of the agitation movements. All right? Either they bribe them, the person don't accept bribe, then they'll give some big political position where you know fit deny. If you don't see like people like Munzo and stuff, they will give them some political appointment, prestigious position where they not fit deny. So they will kill the agitation. So now the same they want try for do them this time around. All right, all these delay tactics, all this Grand National Dialogue, all those things. Now for the whole game, now for delay the process of international intervention. Therefore, give their soldier a little bit of time on the ground so that they will use their internal enablers for weaken the ground enough. Then call for reconciliation. Now the whole drama this. Those things don't fail. Now that they confess the Grand National Dialogue don't fail, right? What an embarrassment. Now, so what to be next? What to be next? Now the same old. Why? Because Cameroon no one acknowledge and accept. Say they not be signed any legal document with the Ambazonian people then. So they want to continue to distort the history and therefore propose solutions them way they go be as solutions for manipulate the people them. The only two way that they offer them now peace and unity. Now all that. Anything we go guarantee peace and unity, because peace, according to traditional people them, if you give traditional people them peace, you just leave them alone. Now all that they want them. They don't want too much pahala. But Biya no say this generation don't change. Biya no say they say, so what do? They don't bribe a lot of Ambazonians. They want to be a new story. All right? Yeah. They don't give a lot of people them, big position them. They don't create a lot of media outlet, TV station them for La République du Cameroun for push all this their jama talk. For diaspora, they don't take money. They buy plenty activists. All wanna know. Who's wanna see them anymore? They talk about Ambazonia? No. They take money. They buy some groups them. All Ambazonians they know. So now the Biya strategy this. They either bribe you, they corrupt you. If that one no worker, they give you a position. If that one not so worker, they go threaten you. If that one no worker, then if we they pick you, put them for jail. If that one no worker, then they finally eliminate you. So what did their next move? Because all these things then, the Ambazonian people finally don't get a leadership. All right, we don't get cowards anymore.
Yeah.
We get real men and women.
Yeah.
Where they don't stand up for defend the aspiration of the Ambazonian people then.
Yeah.
That's why the Grand National Dialogue failed. The Grand National Dialogue for succeed. If the Ambazonian people not be fortunate enough for get men and women of steel and character, where you not fit bribe them with money, you not fit buy them with position. If we not be get those type of men and women, if the Ambazonian people not be fortunate enough for get the governing council of Ambazonia for stand for defend the aspiration of the Ambazonian people then, every movement they feel already corrupt them, and that's why the other one they need to buy arms. All right, the time when they pick the other one them for Nigeria, that this team for don't die. Yeah. The one the way they put them, that one na CPDM part 2. All right, it be just been a game. So Ambazonia they be very lucky this time around. From 1961 So they can reach today. Now the governing council of Ambazonia, without any bias or any conning for any other movement. The governing council of Ambazonia, it don't stand through the test of time for proof to the Ambazonian people. Say the leadership where they get them, not truly the vanguard of Ambazonia War of Independence. The second person will become close, now Dr. Kwanga. But then they can corrupt it too after some time. So, but other than that, La Republique not get anything for offer the Ambazonian people them. And the only reason why La Republique now want put in Frank Biya, now because as I already explained for the Ambazonian people them, Frank Biya now the reconciliatory factor. The one use Frank Biya, make Frank Biya for can't apologize, for can't beg the Ambazonian people them, for can't stand talk say they say he be very sorry for what he don't happen. He be very sorry for all the people who don't kill him. He be very sorry for all the mammy who don't kill him. He be very sorry for the destruction there. But he be ready for dialogue and for get a true dialogue with the people then. He be ready for listen to the people then. So that he bring Frank Biya as a neutral person when a young man. So they go see, so the Ambazonia they feel see say where, you know, see as they where when I just see as they know, it just be so innocent and it be genuine because Ambazonia they no go listen for Diongute. Ambazonia they no go listen for Atanganji Paul because you know say they come up for Paul Biya soup. So that's why they bring in Frank Biya, but they need to bring in Frank Biya for the Ambazonian people their benefit. The whole concept of Frank Biya now how for save Cameroun by keeping Cameroun stable. They the only bring in now for launch the new program for dialogue and reconciliation between Ambazonia and Cameroon for maintain Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia. Now the Frank Biya factor this. So you don't get nothing for do we say, you know, how that one will change the Ambazonian people their lives. You don't get anything for change the Ambazonian people their lives. But I got one thing we need for talking.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
La République du Cameroun. I want to send this message, even for that doctor, where he be there for that, where he talk for this thing for Grand National Dialogue. I want to send a message for you. No pan-Cameroonian, whether they call themselves say Anglophones, they go speak or represent the Ambazonian people then. I want to make this one be very clear for all man. Nobody go speak on behalf of the Ambazonian people then. So if Paul Biya like, make it call the Grand National Dialogue, make it call the Grand Reconciliation Dialogue. If they like, make they change Frank Biya, make Frank Biya go down on his knees. Just like the government delegate for Bamenda be go down on his knees.
Yeah.
Make it back. This time around, the Ambazonian people, they don't put their foot for ground. Ambazonia is not a geographic location of Cameroon. And therefore, Ambazonia will not be part of Cameroon one, it not be part of Cameroon being one and indivisible. Cameroon get 8 regions. Ambazonia not be part of Cameroon. So any man where he want go stand for talk say Biya one call for this, one call for that, they go bring everybody for table. Make those people they go for table for go talk about Cameroon. But they not get anything for do with Ambazonia.
Yeah.
The only dialogue with the Ambazonian people go accept them. Now the dialogue with Paul Biya or La République du Cameroun or Frank Biya, it go come for that dialogue. It go come for that negotiation. It no go take place for Cameroon and not be a negotiation or a dialogue between Cameroon and Anglophones.
Yes.
All right. Now a dialogue, a negotiation, a mediation between Ambazonia and Cameroon. And Cameroon, the only come there now for can sign their surrender agreement.
Yeah.
Now for can sign their surrender agreement. So any man or woman where either for Yaoundé or either for Ambazonia And if the things say they wait, more poor be call for something, they will go take their money, and then they talk say that they go represent their aspirations and they for go represent the Amazonian people. The Amazonian people will consider that person as a traitor and as an enabler of colonialism, occupation, and genocide. And the Amazonian people will treat that person as such.
Okay.
Now only one thing Cameroon need for doing: enter into the credible negotiation, except for talk say, then they want to negotiate their exit out of Amazonia.
Yep.
No person. Man, make me be clear. Whether na confederation, that will not get anything to do with Amazonia. The form of the state of Cameroon, it not get anything to do with Amazonia. Whether na federalism, it not get anything to do with Amazonia. Whether na decentralization, it not get anything to do with Amazonia. Amazonia not be part of La République du Cameroun. Will La République du Cameroun they will conceive which form of the state they need to get them. So what are the people that they talk about confederacy or confederation? They need to talk on behalf of the Amazonian people then. What are the people that they talk federalism? They need to talk on behalf of Amazonian people then. All those things now a unionist philosophy about the 8 regions of Cameroon. How to move Cameroon to the next level where the people they will probably better go be them. As for Amazonia, there is only one option. The people, their rights, where they don't take them since 1961. The people, their land, where they don't be occupied since 1961. That the only option that for the Amazonian people, the unconditional freedom for the right of self-determination of the Amazonian people there. Now only one talk day. The independence, the freedom, and the self-determination of the Amazonian people there. And so now only one people if we talk. Now only the Amazonian people will decide the future of Amazonia. Not be any person or a group of persons.
Thank you very much, comrade. So you make some critical points that I want to really hit on those points. One, like you said, we are 2 distinct nations.
Yes.
La République du Cameroun gained independence on 1st of January 1960. We will make them very clear. 1st of January. And by then, they became internationally recognized boundaries where Ambassador will be a part of them. And nothing ever changed till now. At the international level, there is no document, not even the show say we'll be part of them. Not be legally binding. We will say we'll be part of them. We must always get that one very clearly for mind as we move ahead for this evolution. Wait to the experience now an occupation. Now an occupation. You talk something about the Republic of Cameroon surrendering. They go sign an agreement for withdraw out of land. Not be surrender. Surrender agreement. Surrender meaning now agreement will withdraw out of land. You know something that when you touch on, I want ask again. You see, they will always think so will be stupid. They play on intelligence. They think so will be foolish. Now I hear some talk they come out about a month ago. Say they put together a team to rewrite the history. This is pure desperation. They don't get nothing to hold on to. You want to rewrite history because we shake the crown.
No. See, I'm brother PK. The reason why they do all these things
Yes.
people that they find their way for thief as much money from the system as possible.
Correct.
All right. So all man knows
Yes.
the system they can't earn, and so people that they create all kind of things for thief as much money from the system as possible. All right. So think about it this way. After 60 years, and today one can write the true history. That means you know who you be.
Yes.
You know who you be. That same history where they talk saying that the history that, not that same history, they don't use them for cause genocide. Not that same history where they don't use them for massacre our people then.
Yes.
Right? Not that same history, they don't use them for occupy Amazonia.
The same history.
So now they tell one talk say they say, oh, you know, we don't realize and say maybe we make mistake for that history that one bring anthropologists, linguists, geographers, you know, we want bring legal people them who talk to me to write the true history. Oh, now the same thing. Make we bring all people them make they can't get Grand National Dialogue. All these things are things the way they use them for food. The Ambazonian people say the system is trying to do something. The system is not doing anything.
No.
All on a part of the manipulation. But we don't pass
Yes.
as we talk. We don't pass that phase. All right. Ambazonians they need to agitate. Not been at the Frundu era than this. All right.
Yeah.
Not been at time than this for the Munzos. All right. Not been at the time than this way. Not been at the 2016 this. Not been at the time than this of the Balas.
Yes.
Not been at the time than this of the Tassangs. Where people they just agitate.
Yes.
Now the generation of liberators.
Yes.
All right. Now the generation of the bravest generation where they don't ever leave. Now the generation where they don't woke up for exert the right of the lives of the Ambazonian people them for exist. Now the generation of the General Efan. Now the generation this of Lieutenant General Popo, of Grandpa Devo, of General Capo, of General Ibube, of Captain Small Pikin. Now the generation of Commander Talk and Do. Now the generation of Dr. Ibacho. Now the generation of Benedict Kwa. Now the generation of Mami Woli. Now the generation of the Capo Daniel. Of the Cecilia. Of Woman of God. Now the generation of General Kata. Grandpa of Bali. No pity. Now the generation this. Now the generation of Mami. Now the generation of Mami Api. Baby Mata. Now the generation of General Ivo. Now the generation this. So now a different thinking system where they understand the enemy very well and they know how to deal with that enemy. They understand the occupational system and the imperialist system where they back them. They understand them very well and they use na sense, strategies for crumble la Republic of Cameroun. That's why in 4 short years, we don't make them economically, they don't become the poorest country for Africa. All right? Yeah. Their military will be the creator. They be things they say they be the King Kong for Africa. Boys with their bare hands.
Humble them.
They don't useless them. They take them, they turn them like poto poto. Totally useless them. Now the generation that. Now the generation we don't make the name Ambazonia don't be global. It don't be a global household name. Where every parliament on the face of the earth, it don't talk about Ambazonia. Now the generation this. That's why Biya don't the shit for a dross. That's why tit for a mob they don't fall. Now the generation will make a Tanganji. It start for speak in tongues. All right. It make the colonial prime minister enough he go for Ambazonia. Don't talk anything anymore. It make a Tanganji go for Kumba. It tell people and say, Meme is in Fako. All right. And then Mami for Kumba. He woke up, tell you, say, shut up. Objection. And you see that very moment, the moment Mami for Kumba just woke up, tell you, say, objection. You see, Atanganji take it tail. It become this person where he thinks he be the most powerful person. The spirit and the confidence of that mommy, the conviction of truth, it make a tongue turn like some small rat. We never ever see granite for a long time.
You know, comrade, you make a point about this mommy we talk about her. Now the spirit of Ambazonia that, you know, we grow up for land. We hear stories of some of us, when they be people they be older than us, they tell some of these stories. Then. They experience this particular element where people them, like ministers them, they be there to serve with people. Now the system that way, they be there to serve, nobody say we got them. You know, that element, that spirit where you see out of the skin, it come out because now which way ambassador it be that. You are appointed or given position to serve your people. So the people have the right to ask you, to challenge you, and to let you know that if you are telling lies to the people, we have the guts to get up and tell that you are lying. That is spirit that way, ambassador way, they not ever quench them. Now whether you see people that she done 60 years later, the descendants and for the founding fathers for land, when they create a blueprint for territory, 60 years later, they still wake up. They tell the oppressors and the occupiers, say, we're not going to leave. Time for go down reach. I will not get no choice. And the position that will stand there now. Time for them for go down live. Whether they will run, whether they will do it, whether they want to shed more blood, they will leave Ambazonia. Now that generation this. Now that's what we say about mommy, so you call for his kids. So you also see that mommy will stand for commercial avenue.
Yes.
It talk in mind. In the midst of guns surrounding it, it talk in mind. Now that Ambazonian spirit that will be in us. They never take them away from us. We try to civilize these people. Even though in our occupation, they don't see me civilized. So time we wake up to say no. We're not going to allow this rock, this field, we continue to live for run. Time for leave don't reach. And nothing will stop we. So make we understand one thing. Wait till we Ambazonians do one. A bit clearly crafted for the international laws, self-determination. We are a people and self-determination be legal and okay for which we do one.
Even the aspect of self-determination will be people who will get a country on our own.
Yes.
Okay? We get internationally recognized borders. We will not talk about these things in international law. Forget about that crap. The land our own. We need to beg some person.
Yes.
Ambazonian our own. We need to beg United Nations.
Thank you.
We need to beg any person. We need to beg Americans. We not tell Americans. May they give we some land. We go live there. Now our own land. We need to beg any person.
Yeah.
All right. We need accept our rights for our own land. We need to beg some person. La Republic not get no choice. The occupation don't come to an end. The rightful owners of that land, they don't rise. We need to ask any person may recognize our right.
Yes.
All right. We need to ask some person may recognize our right. Because the land our own. So now our right for the land. Now we get the land. Now we go decide the future of Ambazonia.
Good.
Not be any other organization or a group of people.
Yes.
And as for Cameroun, Ambazonia defeat of Cameroun, as we don't promise them, it will be at the end of Cameroun as a country for exist.
Yes.
Because wait till we don't do them, Cameroun as a state enough fit stay together anymore.
Yes.
Ever. Enough fit sustain them.
Okay. Brother, I want to ask one question for you. The part B for discussion.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, we don't see the fine work we with defense forces they put on the ground. We'll see, the adjustment, the momentum they build for ground. So I want to ask you, how did they implement the strategy for ground zero? What is the overall assessment for ground zero in terms of our liberation? What do you talk about that one?
Oh man, see, the state of our revolution sweet. It's just too sweet. For place where there's a people, and the best place where any group of people where they fight for liberation and freedom, if you ever dream for be. Just over sweet. Cameroun occupation for Ambazonia is finished. They don't fit control the land. They don't fit govern the land. They don't fit administer the occupation or colonialism anymore. That one don't end. So in terms of Wusa Ambazonian as a whole, Cameroun, which did go on the ground, would they for the best position, would they for a position of strength just in the last 2 weeks. When I don't see what the forces across the 13 states they don't do them in terms of the block by block. Because the strategy will be designed now for empower each block. Now for empower each commander. Now for empower each general. For be the authority for that block. A responsibility now for wipe out Cameroun for that block. And for make sure say Ambazonian authority when I go be the only authority for that block. So if not just in the last 2 weeks, Cameroun don't cry. They cry. Soldier they cry. They cry like if people with the catch they don't beat them so they should not sow for ground they cry. So would they do extremely well? Would they for a great place? The strength we don't build on for ground zero in the last 4 years, especially over the last maybe 6 to 8 months, the capacity we don't build on for ground zero. Wow. All across the 13 states, the defense forces they don't be more stronger than ever before. They don't get more experience than ever before. They don't develop more capabilities and capacity than ever before. They don't move from empty hands through den guns. Now semi-automatic rifles they use them. And they move now to sophisticated IED technologies. When that themselves they be the engineer for craft these things on the ground. All under the space of 4 years. If these things themselves, they be right time for some book where they call and say Bible, and Bazuna they read them. Therefore talks in a miracle. Mm-hmm. But it happened for a front. Now the miracle generation is. So in terms for that one for ground zero strong. After 5 years, since 2016 to 2021, the Ambazonian people that they still observe ghost town.
Yes.
As we speak today, a big successful ghost town will take place across the territory. And the commitment of the Ambazonian people have done. Alright? So things that they find for ground zero. Now you ask about implementation of strategy. Make a give our people then just an important update. When the defense forces, the Ambazonian defense forces will lead the war for ground. They don't expand. When Akamatsu they expand for gain more territories, for cover more parameter. They expand. They do incredible work. We'll get photos and videos where until the War Council declassify those photos. The forces they enter some community yesterday.
Yeah.
Alright? The forces, the Akamatsu forces, they enter community yesterday. The entire community come out. Now so it can't. The entire community come out. They almost put juju for celebrate the heroic welcome of the forces.
Yes.
The joy will be there for the community. For see their soldier, they enter for community. Take over community, take over. The pride will be there for that community. We just will make the war council declassify the videos. We will put them for outside. Ambazonians will not be very happy. The General Efan, the Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces. Before I come for you, make a talk one more thing. We as a people, we dey out now for implement one thing. Now for implement the vision where the leader don't lay out for the people then.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Everybody in the governing council of Ambazonia, from the vice president to the secretary general, all right, to all the head of missions, their goal now for do one thing, for actualize the vision where the leader don't lay them out for the Ambazonian people then. For actualize the vision of the liberation. So we collectively as a people, we are going now for implement the strategy of the liberation. The forces on the ground, they are going now for implement the liberation strategy on the ground. Now they generally work that.
Yeah.
Now every commander on the ground he work that. Now for implement the strategy for liberate Ambazonia, where the leader don't lay them out for the Ambazonian people, they must say, as a vision for the liberation of Ambazonia. Collectively, now we roll that off always. So in terms of implementation for ground, the Ambazonia Defense Forces and our sister forces, they did do an excellent work. If not, they did do an extraordinary work. They did do a miraculous work for implement that roadmap, for implement that liberation strategy to its complete details. And they did do the finest work we will feel expectant from our defense forces.
Thank you.
I know we think say any commander you go feel the shoes of General Ivo after they bring Ivo down. Because the speed where Ivo will be taken for implement the roadmap. If we take Ivo about another 1 more year, if Ivo will be there alive, just 1 more year, the entire territory will be liberated. So I know we feel say any person for feel the shoes of Ivory leadership on the ground. Luckily, the mentorship, the leadership where Ivory will be provide them and for train General Efan, it make General Efan become even a better soldier, a better leader, a better general. The leadership of General Efan don't provide them on the ground, it be impeccable. If you look the circumstances on the ground, the leadership with General Efan don't provide them, it be impeccable. The leadership with Lieutenant General Popo, General Sumanguru, and all the generals them under the command and control structure of Ambazonia Defense Forces, which they do and be extraordinary. Their goal now for implement the strategy for the liberation of the people. And so they do the greatest work. The leader don't promise the Ambazonian people that by October 1, the leader want hand over to the Ambazonian people something very beautiful. So the forces, they work day and night. The forces of Ambazonia Defense Forces, they not day out now for make small movie them so that they please some person. Alright? They be out now for liberate the territory. They be out now for conquer blocks. They be out now for push the enemy out. They not be out for make some kind, for make people they make them feel good. now a matter of life and death. So they be focused on a mission. When I remember, I been already make analysis so I tell when I say the governing council of Ambazonia, now the only movement where it give the Ambazonian people them a blueprint or a strategy for the liberation. So nothing not there for ground where any person implement them other than that strategy with the Ambazonian Defense Forces, it work together with the sister forces them for implement them. I'm not talking all the other forces they need to work, but they get different objectives other than the liberation. They get different objectives other than to conquer territory, liberate the people, protect the people, and defend the sovereignty. All right. Other forces then too, they do their own work according to the small talk the way they give them. But in terms of the ADF and all sister forces, where they follow the roadmap, their goal for implementer, and they implement them so fast. Ambazonians will wake up one morning, a lot of things don't change for ground zero. Like what just happened yesterday. A whole block, it already fall under the ADF yesterday. A whole block. So any force on the ground make a joint hand with the ADF for implement the liberation strategy. Make the joint hands. Make the joint hands.
Thank you. Just coming to which way to try for talk about the success and the progress with the forces they make up on ground. I watched something the other day for one of the social media platforms. One like with the Cameroun general, they call it General Valinka. He can't cry for a community say they don't kill their soldiers. A lot of them don't die this past weeks. So they don't lost a lot of Cameroun soldiers. Don't be lost. We need a short span. We only kill them, But this time the rate at which Ambazonian fighters they up the ante, the rate at which the fighters they go after the enemy, it be a call for consent to the general. The community cry, the best community say, make una help we. How you expect people that when they don't burn their houses, burn their picking them, kill their sons, chase them out of their areas, disorderly rape their picking them, cause havoc for territory, as invaders them? How you expect say the population will come support you now?
We go capture it. Now a matter of time.
Yes.
Our forces go capture General Nka.
Yes.
Okay? Now a matter of time. The people, they feel Angoka, they feel surround them. They bring CRTV, they make that their nonsense. They may continue for come for battlefield. We go capture it.
The fun say when I look at other revolution, the liberation revolution, they don't get up. I look at Ambazonia, their liberation, struggle. It be exceptional from so many revolutions I don't see them. Because I don't hardly see revolution where people they tell their enemy, tell the world say, oh, they come for this, or they can't do one. And then they give you the clue, but they see end of the door. You look, my quotes are one good thing for the way you talk, just on this same topic. We tell the people in Cameroun say, our biggest pride. That's what I said na tanker them. I don't know them. Our biggest shield na gift na right. We tell them say, look, the next place I na so go move na that tanker them. Una come on that more today. They don't believe we, but see what they do now. Now the biggest check me will get for them. And the first thing I say, more they come and more deadlier and worse than what it is here.
Oh, Siam. You see, like the public, they don't always underestimate the Ambazonian people then. Because of the past, because of references. They get Republican references for underestimate the Ambazonian because Ambazonian they always fall for the trap of corruption, of bribery, and manipulation and appointment. All right. So they will kill movement. They will kill the aspiration of the people. So La Republic thinks this generation, they go also fall for that trap. And that's why they will do a lot of recruitment of enablers and infiltrators. All right. So that they will fill in the space of a war of independence. Then La Republic now will come, it bribe these people then for back. And then it will be now and say the Cameroon don't win the whole, it don't win, right? So what they don't do, instead, they don't embolden soldiers because with time, the true characters of people will be revealed. All right?
Yes.
In a relationship, time they reveal the true character of a woman. In a relationship, time they reveal the true character of a man.
Yes.
Okay? They reveal their true nature. Because people, they live in mask. If you mask all these things, a lot of people don't live under a mask for a long time. So, time don't reveal the true characters of Ambazonians. Who they be traitors, who they be infiltrators, who they be embezzlers, right? Who they be scammers, who they be people who they just come here for be a Jean provocateur for La République du Cameroun, all right? Time don't reveal a lot of things. Time don't reveal the character of most Ambazonians. Now it be up to the Ambazonian people then, after 4 years of constant learning and knowing who be who and who not be who. It be up to the Ambazonian people then. Look, the only thing with the whole Ambazonia back from total liberation, not be na La République du Cameroun.
Yes.
Now Ambazonians, they hold themselves back. My talks until will be very important for our people. In 4 years, you know what? Go on, give me a moment, keep talking, just give me a moment here. I will be right back.
Okay. You know, fellow Ambazonians, now if you understand, say, liberation, it is for hand. All which we like all Cameroon would want, not charade. All which they go play, which kind card they not pull out of their desk? Na bully, na smear campaign, na undermining of our revolution, but for show the level of tenacity we will put them be. 4 years and counting. Ghost town, it will go on. 4 years and counting. They don't even believe. Look, that Ambazonians, they bring in foreign mercenaries and even will still stand, will still be unbreakable, unshakable. May I tell Ambazonians, this war, they for hands. Liberation, it is inside our hands. We don't just formula and formula, but it is inside our hands. We need to come and get a good grasp of. More understands one thing. We will start with waiting. Then guns. We start with it again. Cutlasses. We go for pump action. We go for fuel. Now, every force we go across Amazonia now, you see now, they play the guitar. We don't up the game again now, waiting. We homemade, improvised devices. We the maker. The level of engineer in the Ambazonian and get them, and ingenuity will get at that. And more they come. More it come inside our territory.
All right.
Independence Day inside our hand.
All right. I don't come back. Make I finish what I be talking.
Okay.
I talk say the only thing with the strategy will get them, with the kind forces will get them in terms of their commitment. If Ambazonia they focus only for 3 months, the Republic will pack out of Ambazonia. If we focus for give the forces the what they need them. If we focus for expand and train more forces, now the Republic will pack out of Ambazonia for 3 months. I go up, I forgot take $1,000. Now this, now $1,000 is.
Wow.
Now talk this thing. Siam, since 2018, besides the governing council of Ambazonia, in terms of provide weapon for forces on the ground. For all the movements where they did for outside here, where they talk, say they fight for Ambazonia independence, and they raise funds. Any person where he bring a video, any person will bring a video for talk, say any other movement other than AGOV-C, he don't provide forces, he don't buy 10 guns, he give a force on the ground. Make that person, he bring that video, he talks, say, where they show, say, now 10 guns and this, with that group, he buy them, he give them for a force on the ground. I will give that person $1,000. Now in this, $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000. 1,000 Canadian dollars be equivalent to about 800 US.
Yeah.
Any person will bring a video, it shows, say, a movement, IG, infiltrator IG, and the other IG care. They buy 10 guns, they deliver them for their soldier. They make video, say, now 10 guns and this, we would all receive them from IG care. Now 10 guns and this, we would all receive them from IG infiltrators or IG of the peaks. When that person produce that video, we go put that video for outside, and me, Asu Lucas, I go give that Ambazonia $1,000 Canadian. Now the problem in that Ambazonia they face them. Ambazonia, they don't carry too much politics. They put that for their head and they forget what they fight for. A people, they never ever give a people a roadmap for liberation. Zero nationalism. But they did raise money in the name of Ambazonians. They not fit buy 10 guns. When I made show me a video where IG infiltrator and IG care, he buy 10 guns, he give them for soldier, then one video, I go give that person $1,000. Now they challenge this one, Ambazonians. Why are they talk this one? Just wait.
Make.
Ma, come, I beg.
Oh, okay.
Last week, Comrade Yerima, he put out a flyer of IG Care. The reason why they do this thing is because of we must hold organizations and leaders accountable to their promises to the Amazonian people.
Yes.
About 5 months ago, Comrade Yerima can launch, he can call a project, say, Big Rubber Gun. I come off outside, I can't challenge the concept. Say, if a leader not fit call gun, that leader not qualify for stand for Ambazonian people and ask Ambazonian people, make they give money for buy guns. So now, when you go give some person money, you tell him, say, may buy Big Rubber Gun. When you go buy, you give money, he can't tell you, say, I want my program a Big Rubber Gun. You go give money, and you expect me to buy you a gun, a real gun. Then you be a foolish person. Because he tell you, say, a project of Big Rubber Gun. There's something they mentally wrong with you. Because they tell you up front, say my project na Big Rubber Gun. But now you think for your head, say you expect that person, make you go buy real gun, make you buy RPG. Now your interpretation that. But the person tell you, say, na Big Rubber Gun. He not define them for you. So now after 5 months, we did now for the month of May. Any Ambazonian, make Ambazonia they ask Comrade Yerima of IG Care. They show 10 guns where a big rubber gun project don't buy for Ambazonia. Now they think this will delay the Ambazonian people then. I know say they scratch your head because we are not like this kind of talk. But when I remember that me, I be the first person for can warn Ambazonians for these dangerous streets. People they call me all kind of names. 5 months later, Comrade Yerima don't come put out a flyer. When I know what you did for that flyer?
No.
In fact, the flyer there for put them for all when I'm gonna see them. I go post that for my Facebook page, me on my see them. He talk for that flyer, say he don't appoint an administrator for the Bank of America of Amazonia, where they some they don't create until say they call and say Bank of Amazonia. And he don't appoint an administrator. Now that administrator be in charge of a big rubber gun project. Any defense group on the ground where you want benefit from the money where they don't raise them, make that defense group apply. Make the defense group apply. Send an application. When I hear something, a soldier go there for battlefield. He go she down for inside bush. He go write application. Dear Vice President of IGK, I am sending this application because I need 100 bullets.
Start.
And then he go send them for you. Dear Administrator of Bank of Amazonia, I am a commander in Akwaya called Aways. We need food to eat.
That's sad.
We don't have weapons. But they use this commander, their name, they use these forces, then for can raise this money, and you go tell the same soldier, make it can apply. Make it send an application for you for give money because you want buy loyalty. Because when they send this application, now you go talk say okay, because they don't send application, that means say that soldier, whether it be there under you or not be there under you, that means say they under you. But what happen with the soldier, the way you talk, so you get them for ground. Why? If you get soldiers then, and these soldiers they fight under una, why would not be just raise the money? Una buy materials, una give these boys and may they save them, may they protect themselves. That's now the thing this will be missing for Ambazonians. Ambazonians they lack nationalism. Now the thing this will slow the Ambazonian people down. Now these groups they don't continue for raise money. Who saw the structure force they don't create them for now? I go still ask the same question. How many soldiers they don't show when I say we don't train 2 soldiers, we don't train 3 soldiers, we don't train 5 soldiers? Now which block don't stand where when I see soldier them, they give soldier them boot for wear. They give soldier them clothes for wear. They give soldier them guns. Now they think this is the whole way back. Because of this environment where they don't pollute them with politics, it prolong the liberation, it cause the death of forces, and this nonsense must stop. This nonsense for say make a soldier is sending an application for some person for give money, and you call yourself a leader must stop. I not blame them. You know why? Because just like La Republique, they don't play this game with Ambazonia for so long. Ambazonia, they don't fall for this chuki. For people them. No substance. No ideology. Ambazonia, they continue for being manipulated. They did drain the coffers of Ambazonians them, and the result for ground no day. Now, people they be very excited, say, oh, some bomb be there for year, some bomb be there for year. Those things that cost only $250 for make them.
Yeah.
So when a force, a struggle, it carry action, they take them, they claim them. But when you see those forces for 2019, for 2020, and for 2021, the conditions of those forces, they never change. Training never change, materials never change. I think this show the whole Ambazonia and the back. But I want to talk this may be very clear for all man. The Governing Council of Ambazonia and the Ambazonia Defense Forces, they no go wait for any person may get ready. We forge ahead, mobilize our people them, unite our people them from this scamming, this manipulation, and this game where they play with the Ambazonian people them. Today, I know say after this talk, a lot of people will call me. There's a reason why they will call me. Just like the game where they don't play with the Ambazonian people then. We will continue to defend the lives of our soldiers then. We will continue to speak for those soldiers. We will continue to do the best we do them. For support other forces then. My appeal for all forces then. No matter the disappointment when I don't experience them. When I join the Ambazonia Defense Forces. We go see what we do for all now. We go put on through training. We'll come back to the Ambazonian people, can't tell now how many more of them don't join. For we for stay focused. This thing not been some small game. Now the lives of our people that be at stake. The more stronger our forces that come together under a command and control structure, will provide them with training, will provide them with high caliber materials, the more their confidence will be up. Those uniforms, those guns, those boots, where the ADF don't give them for forces and for ground. And I know how much you don't change ground zero. Those machine guns where ADF buy them. When I know how much you don't inspire other commanders for aspire, for be inspired for one made them still get machine gun. Because it is strengthening at the ground.
Yeah.
It push out the occupier. It empower generals, it empower commanders, and it move the Ambazonian people forward. I call on Ambazonians. Any place where we want to give them money, if we need to see the result of the liberation, if after 4 years, then not being at the forces they don't fit fight, not being at the forces they don't fit defeat the Republic of Cameroun as quickly as we want. Now the failure for focus as a people on something we don't prove for them for all we for produce the results we all we want. And it looks so for time because I know there's some other program they come on very soon. So we'll go for the wrap up. But I want just take the time, just like I be talking when they be launch that program. Just like I be predicting for the Ambazonian people. Now that they see the effects.
Yes.
If any person he talk say wait your talk not correct. Now $1,000 this. Now $1,000 this. Go bring a video. Wait for money where they don't raise them. For draft 1, draft 2, and draft 3. Go bring a video of 10 AK. Where they deliver them for forces. And the forces they receive them, they make a video say, now 10 AK this will get them. Now $1,000 this.
Thank you very much, comrade. You just touched on the topic we are about talking about now. I want to ask you, I say, with all these numerous fundraising that we go on, World Draft 1, 2, 3, big rubber gun, I mean, when you look at that one, how you think, say, it positively affect Amazonia, or what be the, when you look at it from that perspective, what is the outline? How did it hurt or, push the revolution ahead? What are you talking about? Let's close this topic.
It don't slow down the war, the liberation. It don't slow it down a lot. It don't polarize what people them a lot. It don't divide what people them a lot. Because if you look at, just as I don't put out this challenge today for all man, we owe what people them, what mommy them, what papa them, what sister them, all man for ground zero. We for diaspora, we will speak on their behalf, advocate on their behalf. We get for do what is right for the people them. We got to give the forces them where they sacrifice their lives. We got to give them what they need them. And if people that they raise money using those forces, their names, and they don't get the dignity for provide them, then the people that surround those people, the Ambazonian people get to hold those people responsible.
Yeah.
The activists, whether they promote those people, the Ambazonian people get to hold those people responsible for use the war of independence or raise money, while those forces do not get those guns. They get to hold them responsible. Will not continue down this road. All right? Will not continue down this road. Will not continue with this politics and result in the way people fish. Not being at the process of agitation. Because if you send a soldier $1,000 or $500, you tell them somebody make one explosive. It costs only $250 to make that this thing. They carry out one action. Now, yes, they don't destroy one ammo car or the key to all the public soldier them. But other than that, now which capacity those forces they get them for dislodge La Republique of Cameroun from their areas?
Mm-hmm.
So why would you use IEDs if you see what the ADF is doing? The ADF they put out a lot of IEDs for divide them for all the soldiers them. For cripple La Republique. But what the ADF they doing? They train soldiers them, make they take over the places that would move La Republique for them. Alright?
Okay.
They give soldiers them the training, the ideology of the liberation, and the command and control structure for make sure say as we move La Republique out, the forces they get the materials. Most importantly, they get the command and control structure for guide their actions, for implement the strategy. Not just for carry out an explosive and then we'll talk so we don't fight war. No, not been the game that. The game, those explosives now for cripple them while we will strengthen our capacity.
Yeah.
So what this thing don't do, it don't slow down our people then. Like now, if we don't make Akamatsu 5 more times, all right? If all this money not be the go for all these different places then, all those money, if we don't center that money, build more Akamatsus. Now, we'll talk over the last 5 months, the big rubber gun project. It raised money and they put only 50 guns on the ground. Okay? We'll talk to the big rubber gun project. The people that be real, the people that be sincere, and the big rubber gun project, it trained 50 soldiers. They give 50 soldiers them boots. They give 50 soldiers them guns. And those 50 soldiers, they be very effective for the state of Manu.
Yes.
Where the chairman of the IG care come out for the state of Manu. We'll talk say they put 50 of those soldiers them for the state of Manu. We go see how the state of Manu go be very hot.
Yeah.
And those forces they will take over. It will be a very good thing for the Ambazonian people. They not be bad thing. Now which you want and that. right? Now what you expect them that, right?
Yeah.
Then we talk to the other people then. Who they raise money to? Who just talk say only for Bui. They put 10 sticks. You see soldiers in the lineup with 10 sticks where they give them. They put 10 guns. And soldiers they line up with those 10 guns. It go be a good thing for Amazonia, right?
Yeah.
But now the evidence that we don't see him?
Nothing so.
No. So that's why all we did for outside here, we talk about these things because people will tell you, say, oh, no, they did do and they need Joshua Mia. If they did do and they need Joshua Mia, you for the see the results of those forces then in terms of their confidence. And we, just like we promote all forces then, we for camp for here, we for camp, we begin to promote una, we talk una, and they talk with all the commanders for the state of Manu. Every single commander for Manu. I will tell you how many of them the day, who said the day, who did they work for, who did they try for talk say the DV. Most of them they be independent. Some they talk say that they fight under these groups then. But they call we every day for beg with materials. A commander they will release the audio 3 months ago where he cried. 5 months later, when they don't use their name, they raise this money. 2 days ago, they go attack that commander. That commander no be get granite, no be get bullets. They kill La Republic killed 2 of his soldiers there.
Oh Lord, that's good.
That's why they talk about these things. And the things really pain me because I communicate with them and I hear their cry.
Yeah.
And I owe them that respect for advocate for their well-being.
Yeah.
And for advocate for what they fight for. Not being for talk about some person or compare movements. But for educate our people there on the simple mistakes we were people that they make them for slow all way down. So I guess time don't reach. They say we'll get for go.
Okay, Cobrick, thanks very much for this very nice show. I mean, just for hit the key points and we touch on them. Nobody in that sham decaying republic or corrupt Amazonian will talk for all so-called Amazonian will talk for we. Independence mean non-negotiable. Now another aspect that independence mean non-negotiable. And we know the back. I just hit that the key points that we talk. We know the back anybody. We know the ask to put Grand independence. Now land. Now everything. And the only thing we will change now, like looking for leave for territory. Whether they run, whether they back, whether they do how they get for leave for land. And with people them, they get the capability to run show the tenacity. I mean, one thing before we wrap up this show.
Just talk. We'll get less than 1 minute. Ma just talk. See him.
Okay.
Cameroun get 2 options. The only 2 options Cameroun get them. For the pace and the capacity of the builder. Now only 2 options Cameroun get them. Get into a credible negotiation for sign their surrender or withdrawal agreement for Amazonia. For save Cameroun now. Alright? Now the first option now they get them. Enter into a credible negotiation now for sign their surrender agreement. Withdraw from Amazonia so that they fit use whatever remain of their resources and their defense forces or security forces for save Cameroun. Or we go do the worst thing. We will get the capacity for the speed we will go for outrightly beat La Republic of Cameroun on the battlefield. Alright? If we do them, if we beat La Republic of Cameroun outrightly on the battlefield, Cameroun will cease for exist as a state. Now the 2 options there they get them. The choice, it didn't have for poor Biya hand.
Yeah.
As for Amazonia, freedom will be guaranteed, the independence will be guaranteed. Ambazonians, we thank you plenty. Time don't reach. We'll get for go another program to go up right now. Come PK.
Yes.
I thank you. I thank you plenty, my brother.
Thank you very much
you be
for
man
that.
for
Thank you
fire.
for the good work we did.
And we don't
Thank
get
you
it.
so
We don't
much.
get it. We don't get a really good time.
Thank you.
I would
Thank
like.
you.
I would like for get another conversation with you another time. All
Okay.
right, we'll just come out. We'll get fun with our people then. But before we go, I want to make a cut cafe for all our defense forces then. For General Efang, Lieutenant General Popo. All right, for Grandpa General General Sumanguru, Grandpa Devo. All right, General Bube, General Capo, Captain Small Pikin, Commander Talk and Do, and the big general for Bamenda. Hey, I said, I forget myself in trouble. The big general for the Bamenda Brigade, Cafe de Opa Awo. When I stay fine, God bless you. When I get a good night.
Yeah.
We want to say happy Sunday to you.
Fail to respect the principles of
But you
dialogue.
attended the Major National Dialogue.
Of course, that's why I'm able to tell you that it failed, and I was able to see that it was failing because while it was taking place, people were running away from reality and playing up to the gallery. So the damn thing failed. Of course, when I came out from there and I was saying that the thing had failed, they almost killed me. But today we are all agreed that the thing has failed. And if the president himself is saying that there's going to be a dialogue, it's a recognition of the fact that that major national dialogue failed. And you see, once we say that the major national dialogue has failed, and you know that one of the elements that contributed to that major national dialogue was also another failed organ called it's called what again? The
Bangalism and culturalism.
Voila. It's one big white empty hopeless elephant that went into the bedroom and crafted that thing, and with some other people who do not want to liberate Cameroon as such, they came up with the major national dialogue, and then I guess the president thought that these were genuine people and they were ready to solve the problem, but they were doing their thing as usual. Now, so the Bilingualism Commission is a failed thing. The major national dialogue is a failed thing.
Disarmament?
Well, no, don't mention disarmament. Let's mention the two. Those are the major structures. And you have disarmament, reconstruction, special status, decentralization.
Now it's accelerated.
Whatever, call it whatever, it's just politics and names. So you see, this crowd of things that were born out of the major national dialogue, watch my lips, have failed. Failed in the sense that they might have a 10% success, but when you're talking about success, you talk of 80% success, not 10% success, not 20% success. So that is why we are having the problem that we are having. And therefore, if I said the major national dialogue has failed, I'm as well saying that decentralization is not working.
Okay. All those